dill pickle chisps, and off-brand cherry cola. I'm all set. Now I'll go finish that mission for Marcus. After I go on a shopping spree.
What's really fast? Vladov has your needs covered. Get your meds here.
Best part in the middle. My goal is to hopefully have Playthru-1 over and done with before the 29th, since I'm going to be house sitting and dog sitting for a week. Dogs always feel comfortable around me. Dogs can sense dog people. But I'm not specifically a dog person. It's the same with cats. Cats, dogs.
Traveler, there are new missions available on the T-Bone Junction Bounty Board.
Hello, Marcos here. I've got an opportunity for you. Come see me at my place in T-Bone Junction.
Cats, dogs, rabbits, frogs. I'm just your standard issue nature lover. Maybe not standard issue. General all-around nature lover. That sounds better, I think. It's only a prototype. Don't judge too harshly. Prototype. I think that's the prefix for level 34. Now there's a good shield despite being green. It has the best part on the right side. Swashbuckling gunslinger Mordy, who's now also a designated marksman. Another ledge. Is that the first ledge I've found in a chest? Thought I was going to fall off the edge there. I felt an adrenaline spike surge through my body at that moment. Even though I'm not going for a one life chance or one life to live. But like I always say, I try to play the game as if I am. S&S Crux. Just a moment. I'm back. So the S&S Crux is actually the Crux. And the BL1 Crux is actually the Plague.
If you are stabbed, control the bleeding as best you can. If you find yourself bitten, walk it off. We will protect you.
Encounter enough beasties out there, and you'll be happy you bought from the best.
All these different SMGs, I still can't decide which one to keep. I don't really need all of them. By the way, I will be re-uploading my Axton playthrough for Borderlands 2.
I can't finish the toaster setting without those parts. Go!
Toaster? You mean like the brave little toaster? Can I get a well-parted, intense Cobra with an 18-round mag? It doesn't have to be perfectly parted, just well-parted. See how that compares to mine. It's better, except I prioritize focus over predator. You can imagine how much fun an S&S Allegiance run would be as Mordy. Especially since S&S makes the Truxican Wrestler class mod, which you can get from the Secret Armory of General Knox. It can drop from Cromerax.
What do you need, an invitation? Come here.
But in the core game, you've got two choices. Ranger and Gunslinger. And they're both good. S&S is a good brand for Morty, whether you're doing solo allegiance or team allegiance. If you're doing solo allegiance, then both Gunslinger and Ranger are good. But if you're doing team allegiance, you should favor a Ranger comp. In which case your weapons of choice should be angry death shotguns, especially if they're spiked to death, and any sort of sniper rifle. Anything that benefits from crit bonus buffs. Aside from the accuracy, 87.7. That would be at least a decent shield breaker weapon. Good body on it. Body 3. But that barrel 2, though. When it comes to revolvers, I only like barrel 2 on a masher. It seems like a barrel type that was designed with mashers in mind.
Zombies trying to tear your face off? Buy a shield, and then buy an insta-health for when the shield inevitably goes down and you really need it.
I will probably do a complete playthrough of Zombie Island on Playthru-2.
We were betting on whether or not you'd survive and make it back. I
Well,
bet 3-1 you'd be zombie nuggets.
Red chest.
Man, the new used station really throws off the spread.
And I will do that on every Allegiance run that I do.
Stop! Nobody move! I lost my contact lens.
Since I'm probably not going to be re-uploading my Vladoff Allegiance run, since I have reason to believe that's why my channel was shut down. I might, and I'm not guaranteeing anything at this juncture, but I might do a Torg Allegiance run as rolled, focusing on the, that was a long second, 727, focusing on the heavy gunner and rifleman class mods. If that had an 18-round mag, it has low accuracy because barrel 1, but it has body 5. It also has stock 1 and sight 2.
We were betting on whether or not you'd survive and make it back.
It's so rare to find a combat rifle with an 18-round mag, and I don't understand why. That should be the bare minimum, not 12. Instead of going 12, 18, 21, 21 being the Raven mag, it should instead go something more like 18, 24, 25, or 21, 27, 30. Make it make sense. There's no reason for it to not make sense. And 12, 18, 21 just doesn't make sense. Those are all insultingly low magazine capacities. Now, before you say, well, yeah, but the intent is that only Roland can override that. That's only mostly true. Because Brick, there's a variation of at least one of his class mods, depending on which material type it's built from, that can boost mag capacity with any and all weapon types. But machine guns have a bare minimum mag capacity of 24, which is also insultingly low by machine gun standards. Oh, look at that accuracy. I don't need an electric yet. I'm only interested in well-parted Teddy guns.
If you need healing, step right up.
Remember the time I bought a Pangolin scavenger com thinking it was Tediore, and I blew all that money
Let's get our feet out of the dust.
because I looked at it and I thought it was gray. My eyes must have glanced completely over the brand logo somehow. And I must have also missed that it was 25 instead of 22, which is a tier for Pangolin. 25 is a tier for Doll, Malawan, and Pangolin. Next one after that is 34 for Doll, Malawan, and Penguin. I'm most likely not going to invest in the fast hands skill, since Teddy guns can be reloaded, quickly go fast anyway. And I just picked up a Doll heavy gunner comp. Would be interesting to do Doll allegiance as Roland, because you'd have to rely on your turret for ammo regen, which means a lot slower ammo regen. Also, it's not a passive, but rather an active form of ammo regen. I prefer passive ammo regen, and I prefer it to be faster. That's one reason why I'd rather do a Torg allegiance run as Roland, rather than Doll. But if you were simply playing Roland, and it wasn't an allegiance run,
Reliable, lightweight, and incredibly fast reload speeds. Tediore makes an easy-to-use gun.
well then just imagine combining heavy gunner with a Doll stomper. A perfectly parted doll stomper. Barrel 4, body 5. That might be a keeper. Barrel 4, body 5, stock 5, sight 2 or better, and an 18-round mag. And it wouldn't even have to be that perfect, even. Nope, not a keeper. It's a 13. Why is it a 13? Why do you screw me like this? What, instead of giving me some 13s and some 22s, just make them all 22s by this point. Don't insult me. All Tediore weapons and gear by this point should be level 22 on Playthru-1. No excuse for this level 13 garbage. Playthru-2 is so much better. And then there's 2.5 after that. Good sights on that. I'm level 27, making good progress. Level 28 is the next tier for Torg, Vladov, Atlas, and Iridium. A Thanatos.
And honestly, what else do you need?
Electric Thanatos. S&S is also a good brand for Lil. And also Roland. In fact, S&S might just be the most well-rounded brand. But you wouldn't want to do S&S Allegiance as Brick because they don't make any class mods for Brick. They make suitable weapons for Brick. Explodey-Go-Nuts machine guns, Explodey-Go-Nuts machine pistols, bladed shotguns, and Explodey-Go-Nuts sniper rifles, which, as you know, I call payload rifles. I might have mentioned this already, but we're going to be seeing legendaries in vending machines on a regular basis from here on out. That's one reason why I'm constantly doing these manic shopping sprees. But it's not really ledges that I'm after, aside from the equalizer, which I've got. All I'm after is well-parted, serviceable weapons.
Who needs a real doctor
And
when
class
you got my
mods.
machines in there scaring needles?
I don't think Vladov would be as much fun with Morty as S&S.
I have fun.
Time for a nice, relaxing drive.
Combines good damage, high fire rate, and recoil reduction into one lethal weapon.
Should I buy that? It looks ordinary, but it might have a twisted barrel. How am I supposed to know for sure? By the damage? Well, that's not enough information. I need to know for an absolute fact whether or not it has a twisted barrel. That's barrel 3. That's the barrel that has a variation called twisted. That's where it fires helix bullets that ricochet. See, I imagine if Pangolin made weapons, which they should, in Borderlands 3, their shtick would be ricochet projectiles. Not necessarily helix bullets, but just plain old ricochet bullets. And if Anshin made weapons, which they should, starting with Borderlands 3 and beyond, then of course they would resemble Moxie guns in the way they function. Oh, that's worth it. Not a bad price either. This could function as my shield breaker for the end game.
If you need healing, step right up.
It has the function that doesn't work. Team accuracy recovery. Now I have something worth stashing. My first Roland wore the Tediore logo behind his portrait for the longest time because I had a Burning Savior and a Tediore Double Anarchy, which were my primary weapons for that character on Zombie Island. And I would just have endless fun slaughtering endless hordes of zombies with those two weapons.
Over here! I need your help with something.
Now he bears the SNS logo. Probably because the longest serving weapon I've ever used on any character in this game was a level 50-something purple SNS Glorious Massacre with barrel 5, body 5, and stock 2.
Power. And honestly, what else do you need? Get your meds here.
Keeping what I've got. I guarantee that Electric Savior won't be as effective for busting shields as an Electric Equalizer, or any electric revolver for that matter. But, still, level 31,
You're from off planet.
Tediore Legendary. I mean, how could I not? What was in that red chest here in Jacob's Cove? I don't even remember. That's how unmemorable it must have been. How ordinary it was that I don't even remember what it was. Probably some boring combat rifle with bad parts. Or some boring SMG with bad parts. One of each. Yeah.
Dr. Ned gave me the following awards this year. Most effective claptrap in life-threatening situations.
I am Atlas, and you too can see what it feels like to hold the power of the gods in your hands.
Everybody, check me out on dance.
Do me a favor. Would you buy first aid so that I won't have to fix you up later?
Turret's gonna have some fun. Wake up, turret. I want you shooting those things down before they ever get a chance to touch me.
You can't kill already dead flesh. So corrosive pellets won't do diddly to a zombie.
Because they annoy me. They're like the robot cops from THX 1138. All they can really do is annoy you into submission. George Lucas even says that in the commentary. All right. I've done enough shopping, and it produced results. Did you notice that both the Thanatos and the Savior were electric?
Hi, Skirger. Our rotor may not look like a bush of bride or anything, but she'll get you there. Might even alive. Catch a ride. Let's get you rolling.
Combine either of those with Tempest class mod, with Lil. Who makes Tempest? I know S&S makes Tempest, but I don't remember who else.
Take a hike, asshole!
See if your cheap Vladoff machine gun can match my actually decent Tediore stomp.
Another trophy for my wall.
You took away half my shield, and I took you all the way down. Really? Stop doing that. You're only prolonging the inevitable. Well, it's a blue label, but it has a structurally superfluous scope on it. Why do you need a scope on a Vlad machine gun with barrel 2? So pointless. Yeah, that's the nature of random generation. Let's get a look at that dog gun. That's actually pretty good. It's a level 16, but for its level, this is pretty good. Barrel 1, body 1, stock 3, sight 3. But it's the 18-round mag that makes it decent. Don't overlook combat rifles. I used to do the same thing. It's only the common ones built from cheap chintzy parts that suck. But that's true for most guns in this game. Get a good pedigree of parts, and you're all set. What was it you were saying about squealing?
Fire in the hole!
I need to remind myself to always look to my right every time I'm shooting at these guys, because they always do that. Do that stupid little dodge they do, and somehow it manages to work. But all it does is annoy me. That's really all it accomplishes, because I end up killing them to death anyway. It just takes a second longer. They even poke fun at that in Tales from the Borderlands. Torg. This probably wasn't Mr. Torg's idea. Not Torg Flexington's idea. Or was it? Do they ever expound on that in any of the Borderlands 2 DLC or the pre-sequel or Tales from the Borderlands or whatnot? Best part left side. Best part middle. Did I spawn a second vehicle? I forget. I did. While I'm here, I should check that shop. Blade attachments or spikes are best on shotguns because you perform the strike with two hands for greater dexterity, which in gameplay terms means less of a delay between melee strikes.
More meat for me! That hurt?
Genocide Cobra, that's tempting. If that was an intense Cobra, I'd buy it. It has good parts, barrel 5, body 5, but it has stock 1. Sight 2 is I like. If only it had an 18-round mag, I'd buy it without a second thought. But it's not an intense Cobra. Has to be an intense Cobra to benefit, or it has to have the intense prefix to benefit from the Ranger comp. It was a long second. 32, 10 seconds. It'll skip the last 20. See, I maintained discipline. I didn't buy it because it had the wrong prefix.
Power. And honestly, what else do you need?
All these Tediore guns in here now, and they're all junk. Kind of like the game's way of saying screw you. You waited patiently thinking that you might end up with something better, but I know what you're up to, so I'll add insult to injury. Yeah, I'm referencing the insult to injury mission from earlier in the game, way back in the arid Badlands. That's the only reason I'm saying that.
Hyperion asks, what good is a gun that doesn't shoot where you point? Get a gun that's as accurate as you are.
Seriously though, I really would like to have an intense Cobra with good parts and an 18-round mag. I don't think there's such a thing as an intense stomper. Dill pickle flavored chips. I can't decide what my favorite flavor is. I used to say salt and vinegar. I like these just as much.
Cheap, reliable, lightweight, and incredibly fast reload speeds.
I don't like gambles.
Another valued customer.
If this had body 3 or 5, it would be good. Really good. For a level 22 blue, 97 damage, that's excellent. But the body type ruins it, especially on an SNS. I think only Atlas machine guns can get away with having body 2 on them.
Hey, you see my gun?
Well, pretty sure there's nothing left to do now but hair of the dog. Let me make absolute sure I don't have any outstanding missions.
Yes?
I'm using
Need
the word
something?
outstanding in
I
that
hope whatever is in the
context.
vault can be traded for supplies.
The context in which it's less commonly used. Should I go shopping or should I just go for it? Must resist urge to shop.
Hi, nice scooter. I your dad drive my sister. Hey, come get you some wheels.
Time for a nice relaxing.
Which sister were you named after? Scooter probably has multiple sisters. Ellie is probably only one of them.
Hey, don't be shy now. Come on, catch a ride. I have first aid kit, and you won't regret it.
Both Dahl and Tediore make the Bombardier class mod for Brick, but neither of them makes portable rocket launchers. Tediore does make vehicle-mounted launchers. I know I've mentioned that before, but it's worth reiterating. How is this shotgun doing so well all of a sudden? Is it because they're level 21? And this is a level 22 shotgun? Speaking of which, why are they level 21? Why not give me tougher spider ants to battle if I'm level 27?
You don't want to be here.
Still enjoying my Stomper. Switching back to my intense rifle. Because Ranger. Stompers are universally useful for pretty much any character.
Get your mitts here. Don't settle for anything less.
So stop overlooking That's an order. Stop not making use of useful resources. Or else I might have to issue an injunction. Yo ho ho and a hodeo Joe. Just cleaning the place up. Undyne does that better than you do.
That hurt.
Really? How are these guys so good at dodging? Well, they're not that great. They're not great
Like that?
at dodging. They're good at it. Sometimes. What am I stuck on? Nothing. Now watch this.
You want me to share, huh?
All so plain, so ordinary. Or should I say, mediocre?
If you need healing, step right up.
Hold on a second. Let's at least get a look at this. I think it has barrel 2 and body 2 on it. Look at that terrible accuracy. 83.9. Why would you ever need a scope on this? But it has kind of a cool looking body on it. With that red. The red part.
Buy a first aid kit and you won't regret it.
Normally, by this point in the game, I would have already upgraded to purple label SDUs. But I've been doing these super long ultra episodes that are basically like 2 or more episodes in one. Kind of like 2.5 episodes in one. Chunks. I wouldn't mind getting my mitts on an intense pounder with good parts. Just to see if it actually makes a decent designated marksman's rifle and actually manages to fit the definition of such. How did I time that like that? Well, it wasn't intentional. I just saw that barrel and shot it, and that nutty go nuts psycho just happened to be throttling along. I'm accustomed to high accuracy shotguns. See what this actually says. Dixie Wrecked brand moonshine. Is that a reference to something? In Borderlands 2, you'll see bottles of booze with Malawan black label on the label. And if it's made by Malawan, you know it's got to be the good stuff. Your shield didn't do jack squat for you. No comment. I don't usually use ordinary equalizers, I like equalizers that have more oomph to them, more meat to them, like an element or a masher equalizer. This one, yeah, it does decent damage, but it's only a 2-shooter, and that's why it does decent damage, because it's a 2-shooter. Type 5 cylinder, or Mag 5, only it's not a mag. Did you know there are such things as semi-automatic revolvers? They're technically distinct from double-action revolvers. The revolvers in this game are double-action. Am I stuck on? What is that, a Carnage? He must be using a Carnage. And I just remembered I had a healing kit. Slow and accurate rockets, but they will do damage. Carnage. Doll makes the jacket, which is a grenade launcher.
Time to die.
Basically a grenade launcher version of a Carnage. Which will be awesome, except that it's weak. I don't like Carnages because they're weak. And their rockets are slow and inaccurate. Red chest right here. Will it contain something interesting? I should specify something interesting that I can actually use. Like a replacement combat rifle. Let me see that label. Pretty sure it doesn't say BL1 Black Label in this game. See how I'm trying to use the muzzle jump to my advantage? Remember I mentioned before in some previous episode, the muzzle jump is as noticeable as it is due to the poor quality stock, combined with the fact that this is a Tediore gun. If it was a doll combat rifle with all the same parts, it would have better handling characteristics in that regard. Dixie wrecked, just like the label says it says. hate Sight 2. I really do. I know I don't need a 25th, but I'm going to pick it up anyway. And I'll save the "You're on a boat" Easter egg for later. When I come back here to do the fresh fish mission and the mission where you destroy all those boats whose names are an homage to that one scene from that one movie. What was that? Pulp Fiction. I almost said Reservoir Dogs, but no, it was Pulp Fiction. I have a brick that I named Elmer Thud that has one of the best Tediore combat rifles I've ever found. I'll take a few extra for myself. Actually, I don't like moonshine. I'm somewhat of a beer aficionado. These guys are back already. Let's not take half a year, please. The slow cycling shotgun is completely inadequate for combat against armed personnel, armed enemy combatants. It's only useful against spider ants and skags. And that's why I treat it more like a spike that has a shotgun attached to it.
Going up against a better opponent, you need a better gun.
As opposed to a shotgun that has a spike attached to it.
I might have sort of lied to you. That alien vault crap a map you looking for? Tom stole it. He stabbed me twice.
Oh, don't worry about it. I'll go fix his wagon.
Get your meds here. Only by the best. If the vault is real, you'll be able to afford it.
Chisps must have gone down the wrong pipe. Hold on. Barrel 5, body 1, stock 1, sight 2. And chintzy 12-round mag. Chintzy something. Come on. Get a move on. Did you see the skag pile up here? I always have to point that out because I don't know what causes that.
What you want? And good riddance.
I can never seem to remember, but I think if I go back to New Haven, there might be more missions for me to pick up. Or maybe that's after Crom's Canyon. I also forget. I know I've seen that. Oh, hey. Oh, but 0.6 fire rate that completely ruins it.
There are new missions available at the New Haven Bounty Board.
No, I was right.
Greetings! Helena Pierce has more jobs for you in New Haven.
Oh, yeah. That's why I was thinking that. Reaver.
I hope you're avoiding the negative element around here. See you soon.
I was expecting to get that message from Clappy a few seconds earlier. Mr. Johns. I wonder if his name is a reference to Johns from Pitch Black, the first Riddick movie.
Get your meds here.
Best part, left side. Level
If you wanna
13,
get to
though.
the vault first, you're gonna need to eliminate the competition.
I would prefer to have a corrosive revolver before I take on Crom's Canyon. Because a corrosive weapon, especially a high accuracy corrosive weapon that procs per shot, does the absolute best job against Crom's turret. If it's a pestilent defiler with barrel 3 or 5, most especially barrel 5, then you can take out Crom's turret with like 2 shots from all the way across downtown, as I say. Basketball nomenclature. I'm not really into basketball. I just can't help using the occasional basketball nomenclature because I'm a Hoosier. How'd I miss that? I knew I was going to miss that, and that's exactly what happened. I don't get that.
If you need healing, step right up.
Shouldn't be missing shots like that. I came here because there's a red chest. And I'm hoping to score either or. A Karate Go Nuts Tediore revolver. Alternatively, a Karate Go Nuts Tediore SMG. But either way, it has to have a good barrel. No good.
Look at you roll. Look at you roll.
Time for a nice, relaxing drive. Yeah, not bad. Not bad.
And this chest too, of course.
What do we have here?
Teddy guns in both red chests, and as per typical, they're too ordinary to be worth using. I don't feel like picking the entire Rust Commons apart.
That's where the cars live. Get you one.
shops.
If he took more than one shot, you weren't using your take-offs.
Oh. If that had an 18-round mag. Plenty of karate weapons.
Hey, don't be shy now. Come on, catch a ride. Hey, let's get you rolling, man.
Stompers were the mainstay of my arsenal all throughout Playthru-1 for my doll allegiance run. Starting at level 7, or starting at, I don't know what level I was, but the first stomper I got was level 7. I kept getting stompers, level 16, level 25, etc. That's a good masher. Barrel 2, body 3. See how barrel 2 works well for a masher? Let me get a Tediore example, and I'll illustrate. The masher that throws the loosest pattern would be a Tediore with barrel 2. But that's okay, because by shotgun standards, it still does just fine. Some people still don't know that you're supposed to judge masher accuracy and double anarchy accuracy by shotgun standards. Actually, that's true for any and all multi-projectile weapons. So they end up passing up weapons that would actually be very serviceable. Serviceable or better, I should say.
Hi there.
No more shotgun scopes. Well, it's not what I had in mind, and I'll have to get closer to him to make use of it. But it's cheap. I can at least use it for backup. And it has good sights, which I'll illustrate here in a moment.
Hi there.
I feel compelled to check the Underdome shops at least. That would be a pretty good... I mean, it's no pestilent defiler, but it would get the job done against Crom's turret.
Buy a first aid kit and you won't regret it.
See how that looks more gray than green? Best part in the middle. For my during my doll allegiance run, I made it to level 20 without a shield. Did not come across a shield until level 20, even though doll shields occur at level 16. And the first shield I got was a really good one. It was a level 16 purple with good parts. Worth the wait, but still, it's just a doll shield. It's nothing special. So why make me wait that long?
Look at you, bro. Are you about ready to get rolling?
feet out of the dust.
Pretty sure Lilith wants to get rolling. But really? There was no obstacle there. It was just a few lumps of stuff. Like cactoid buds or some such thing. How does it make sense that that should be enough to stop a vehicle with tires that are designed to roll over stuff like that? Give me a break. I'm tired of being insulted by Malarchius Maximus. Sometimes video game logic is the most insulting thing ever. Have you come here to annoy me? Apparently you thought it was that important. Of course I have to cock my gun for no reason, when all I want to do is use the spike. I really hope they fix that in Borderlands Remastered. Borderlands 2, they got the idea with Borderlands 2, no more unnecessary weapon cocking to represent equip speed. That idea is such a product of its time. The first decade of the 21st century. Wow. That actually... that was actually a potential challenging opponent right there. If I didn't have the stuff I have. Why do you scurry around like that? Just to annoy me. I'm gonna swat all y'all. Because they bug me. I like bugs in real life. Technically, these aren't insects, though. Scythed or something different. Their bodies, they don't have the body habitus of an insect. They're like an amalgamation, or amalgamate if you prefer, of a slug and a roly-poly, or a woodlouse. Roly-poly, woodlouse, or what else? What's another name for roly-poly? Pillbug, which is technically not the same as a woodlouse. They are related. Cousins, you could say. But none of those are insects. pill bugs and wood lice. Shoo! Stop doing that. They're isopods, which means they're crustaceans. Just a white label junker. I'm not getting out of my car for that.
Hi there.
Only 5? You can ask me to do a bigger job than that. Why not ask for 50? Or at least 15. Why only 5? Really? Come on now. It's not that hard. There. Did I mention I'm in my element? I'm in my element when I'm playing Morty with a spiked shotgun. Most especially if it's a spiked death and I've got a ranger comp. Notice that? It's like it's off the map. A skag pile that's buried in the map. That's what it seems to be anyway.
Hi there.
Hello! There are new missions available at the Middle of Nowhere Bounty Board.
I am Atlas, and you
I'll go ahead and show off these sights which are actually good. Now, why can't all repeaters have sights like this that line up? Mostly, they're just a little bit wonky, just a bit. But for the most part, this is way better than any of the other sights you'll see on the vast majority of repeaters. So why is that? Why not do things right instead of wrong? And why is it that the vast majority of repeaters simply don't have sights? And why do so many revolver barrels have flat sights that don't really have a distinct notch or groove to function as a rear sight? Why is that the status quo?
Yes. Did you need something?
Better at this.
Still not sure which skill to go for next. Because this will turn ordinary repeaters basically into machine pistols.
See you soon.
And the effect it has with machine pistols, let's just say you can have a whole lot of fun. Another Thanatos. And this has that type of sight that I was just pointing out. But on a machine pistol, for some reason, that sight disappears. If only this was corrosive. So the type of sight, this sight, with 1.8 power zoom, which it doesn't really need. I mean, how do you get zooms? How do you get zoom with iron sights? What's the point? I guess the idea is, well, some would say it gives more purpose to variety or some such thing. I might as well go shopping for a better corrosive weapon. But anyway, that sight that I say is the best sight on a repeater, if it's on a machine pistol, it disappears when you aim down sights. And I've never understood that. And if you go back and watch original build gameplay videos of old Borderlands before they revamped the whole graphic style, you'll notice that it's not like that. That sight did not disappear way back when.
Look at you roll.
Time for a nice, relaxing ride.
They're not that heavy. Doll guns are said to be heavy. Tediore guns are said to be light. A stinger. Notice these dumb sights. I think this is the best body though. I think this has barrel 2 combined with body 5. This is just a good, powerful SMG. It has a good stock on it too. 7.62 accuracy. I could make reference to Full Metal Jacket 7.62 millimeter. Full Metal Jacket. Just move the decimal point 1 to the left. 7.62. I don't need all these SMGs, but they're all so good. I don't know which to keep.
Want to shoot a lot of bullets really fast? Vladov has your needs covered.
Barrel 4 on that. Comes turret has health regen, so you have to keep the damage going. He almost managed to dodge that melee strike. I hate that so much. Might as well pick this place apart. The shops will probably change over by the time I'm done. That right there. It may be level 15, but it would work against Crom's turret. Delta Oscar Tango. Damage over time. Same brand. Dixie wrecked.
Hyperion asks, what good is a gun that doesn't shoot where you point? Get a gun that's as accurate as you are.
Well, the idea is you don't just point guns, you aim them, but I know what they mean. Stuck on a pebble. Typical. He must be stuck on scenery. There's an intense rifle, but it's not as good as the intense rifle I've got. Good sights on that. It was merely decent. It had barrel 3 on it. This right here. Barrel 3, body 3, stock 1, sight 1.
I sure got you right now.
And I checked those already.
You too can see what it feels like to hold the power.
There's a good. That's a good brick style revolver right there. Good sights on that.
Who needs a real doctor when you got my machines and their scary needles?
Should I do... Crumbs Canyon or Rust Commons East or Rust Commons West? Or should I just go in order of the level? 24, 25, 26. It doesn't really matter all that much. I'm thinking I might do Crumbs Canyon before I do all this Rust Commons stuff. But before I proceed with that, I really want
This for the car. Get you one. Sure got your ride.
a Karate Go Nuts
Feet out of the
revolver
dust.
or a high accuracy Karate Go Nuts SMG. That will also do. But my top preference, a Karate Go Nuts revolver. Hopefully one with good accuracy. Barrel 3, 4, or 5.
Jacob's guns do one thing really well. Power. And honestly, what else do you need?
Oh wait, while I'm here in Rust Commons East, out of my way, cactoids. Cactoid. That's a cross between a cactus and an Altoid. Do cacti have adenoids?
Get out of here, ass!
No, of course not. No, don't fall off. Of course, jump out the wrong way. Idiot. Accidentally scored airborne. Just from being upside down. Really? And my shield's already depleted. How did you keep dodging my shots, running under my aim? So irritating.
What? You like that? Nothing like a challenging kill.
Wasn't that challenging? Oh, and of course, the obligatory... Get it out of your system. There. Come on. Ugh.
You like that?
I think I should maybe do this.
BL1 guns shoot more lightning than the next leading competitor.
Of course, if I really had to, I could take out Crom's turret with my equalizer just by continuously shooting it, but it would take kind of a long time. Time for another bug hunt. I forget what was in this shop. Oh yeah. Jump. I bet that's a, well, that's a flat off, I can tell by looking at it. It'll only have ×1 elemental. It has body 3, so its fire rate will be something like 10.4. 10.2. And ×1 electric.
Cheap, reliable, lightweight, and incredibly fast reload speed. Tediore makes an easy-to-use gun.
What do they mean by reliable in this game? In the context of this game's gameplay. This isn't Stalker. There's no weapon degradation. Spaz. Using the shotgun as a shotgun. How did I screw that up? Was I that over-eager to drive a spike into some spider ant's, if not its abdomen, and if not its carapace, whatever it has as a thorax? Is that a thorax? Why is it so hard for me to judge distance and timing? It has one of those codes. They're still using that in the 29th century? Now how do we know this is the 29th century? Well, because in Borderlands 2, in Lilith's Firehawk lair, what am I stuck on? You'll see a picture of Roland that says he was homeschooled in the year 2854. Or that he graduated from homeschool in the year 2854. But we don't, for all we know, people live longer in this world. Mordy is 39 in Borderlands 1. Roland is 34. Rick is 37, I think. And I forget how old Lil is. But are we going by Earth years or what? Because if I recall, Earth doesn't exist in this world. I don't know, it was blown up or something. Get some melee action going on. Roland is the character I have the most hours clocked on, but Mordy is my fave. And I think Mordy is who I play best as. At least solo. Co-op, it's a different story. In co-op, I think I actually prefer playing Roland. Because I like to be a support gunner medic type. S&S machine guns with body 2 will have 4.9 fire rate. S&S machine guns with body 4 will have 4.5 fire rate. S&S machine guns with body 3 will have 7.6 fire rate. There can be subtle differences too, like with different material types. But an S&S machine gun with body 3 will have at least 7.6 fire rate. And I know S&S machine guns can also have 8.8 fire rate. But I don't remember if that's the result of body 5 or body 3 combined with an improved material type. Which of these should I knock out of the way? Because I can do this on the way to Crom's Canyon, scavenger shotgun. I should go ahead and get this done.
400% more awesome. Also, torque doesn't make the guns out of freaking wood.
Pretty soon here I'll have 7 figures.
Day 718. I woke up outside the camp today. I don't know how I got outside, but I seem to have overcome my inability to leave. This will be my last recording before I scatter the echo recordings as far as I can. My echo recorder has clearly gone crazy, and if I'm not careful, I too might go insane. I will come back and resume my research when I have rid myself of this two-time recorder. This is Patricia Tanis, signing out.
I'm picking them up out of order, at least that one, just because. I wonder if this mushroom cap could make a decent shelter. More importantly, I wonder if it's edible. Speaking of which, do you like portobello mushroom caps? I like to eat them with steak sauce. Pick it up. Use key, don't fail me now.
Sometimes I wish I had never been given this assignment. Never come to Pandora. Dahl has asked me to leave. The transmission said it's time to go. Everyone has left, except the criminals who they've let loose. They won't be my friends. So I had decided to return to leave as Dahl has ordered, but then I found something. I think it is the key to the vault. It proves the vault is real, and that it's here on Pandora and that it can be mine. I also learned that, by my calculations, we are near the 200th anniversary of the last vault opening. Within half a year, approximately. If I leave now, I will never make it back in time. I will stay. Maybe one of the convicts will be my friend.
That's a bit desperate. See if it's too early for... Yeah, it's too early for that. Flowers. Now, do I reference Undertale or Subterranean? Kudos if you understand why I would reference Subterranean. Because there's a level toward the end of the game with giant flowers, and also because its soundtrack was done by Jesper Kyd, who was one of the people who worked on the soundtrack for this game. And he also did the soundtrack for Borderlands 2. And I've been a Jesper Kyd fantard since Subterranean. And that came out in 1993.
Day 578. I haven't slept in 3 days. I just ate 6 bugs in alphabetical order, starting with Carabus auronitans and ending with a dessert of Tetrick Santolata. The information I've uncovered from my automated deciphering has me closing in on the location of this event. An event I believe to be the opening of the vault. Echo Recorder and I are not together anymore, but I wish him the best, and we remain friends, so that I can keep recording these messages. He agreed, because we need to complete what we set out to do, and document the intensive search for the mythic vault. It's not a myth. It's real.
I like her. She's silly. Didn't I just fight all of you a moment ago? I mean, that wasn't even that long ago. That's how weak the shotgun is. What am I stuck on? I'm not stuck on anything. There's nothing to be stuck on, so why was I stuck? Yeah, do that more often. That's a fantastic battle strategy.
What, you didn't like that?
Try to shove your abdomen into my face. Make it easier for me to give you the horn. Stun, please. Ugh. I hate how unreliable a job this shotgun does at stunning spider ants. Sometimes a single shot to the carapace will stun them, other times two. And sometimes it takes more. I prefer reliability. What?
Feel it.
Why did that take 2 strikes instead of 1?
Day 653. Today is my birthday. I've been alone for an incalculable amount of time. A convict accidentally crossed over into my encampment this morning, and I allowed him to look about before I shot him in the back several times. I was immediately filled with regret upon doing this, because the human contact, no matter how awkward, would have been nice. I've decided his name was Leslie, and he had a troubled childhood where people would make fun of him for having a girl's name. And the torment eventually led Leslie to a life of crime and debauchery. There was a tattoo on his bum that looked not unlike the name Patricia. Might have been tattoo. The experience compelled me to move the vault key fragment I found so that it can be safe. It's extremely important, so I've given it to the man known as Crazy Earl. He's not crazy. He doesn't like people. The vault key will be safe with him. I also gave him my underwear. Day 684. I seem to be unable to leave camp anymore. I've collected all of the information I need to be able to find the vault. I'm overcome with terror and instantaneous paralyzation upon any attempt to leave my confines. I believe I have some kind of psychosis. Whatever it is, I'm a prisoner of my own jail, and I will not be able to find anything without help from an outside party. I will put out feelers to see if I can get someone on this rock to grant me assistance. Perhaps I can send an off-world message to attract some vault hunters. Some company would be lovely.
So... pretty sure there are a lot of people who can relate to those issues. Although, I'm pretty sure most people don't develop those issues in quite the same way. Not going to do Crom's Canyon yet, but I'll go ahead and get this collect the shotgun pieces mission out of the way. That looks like a 3-shot cylinder. A gigantic 3-shot cylinder, which I think would work just fine instead of a 2-shot cylinder. Stock and forearm or foregrip. Barrel 5. Some kind of body.
If you need healing, step right up.
I still don't know shotgun body types.
Even the best gunman gets hit from time to time, so make sure your shield is...
I only know what numbers to look for.
Are you about ready to get rolling? Are you about ready to get rolling? Alright, this is what's catch a ride. You can paint all kinds of pretty colors to boot.
Now, during my Vladov Allegiance run, the shotgun I got as a reward for this mission was the best shotgun I've ever had in this game. The one that I described. Was that this episode or some previous episode? I forget.
Bullets really fast.
Not bad, not
Has
bad.
your needs covered.
Good sights on that. Serviceable but not exceptional. Was hoping for something with better accuracy. I'll hold on to it because it might... Anyway, during my Vladov Allegiance run, the one I said I might or might not re-upload, but probably not.
It's here.
The reward I got for that mission was a level 22 purple S&S spiked death.
Let's trick out your ride.
Time for a nice, relaxing drive.
It had barrel 5, it had a good enough body type, fire rate was 1.3, no structurally superfluous scope, just plain old iron sights, which are all you need on that type of weapon.
If you're on a budget, Tediore is always the way to go.
And I remember wondering to myself,
That hurt?
if I would get something that good on an S&S Allegiance run. I remember thinking to myself, there's no possible way I would ever get an S&S shotgun that good on an S&S Allegiance run. Well... I'll save these for later. I'll probably do Crom's Canyon next episode. Let me check something. I'm back and I got me a beer this time. New Holland the Poet Oatmeal Stout. One of my all-time faves. It's robust and earthy. Pairs well with a red meat entree. Well, I kind of like to go get Crom's Canyon done. But I really want a high accuracy Karate Go Nuts weapon. I could make it work with what I've got. It just wouldn't work all that well, because I'd have to take the time to get close to Crom's turret. And this shop's open. Let's see. Anything good?
That your gun just doesn't hold enough bullets? Then SNS has the solution. More bullets. All SNS guns have extended magazines. 400% more awesome.
See, if I could get a Tediore version of that right there with those same parts, barrel 3, body 3, this would do the job just fine. Another ledge. Another crux. And just like before, this crux has a cheap barrel 1 on it. Also that sniper rifle. Barrel 5, sight 1, and I think that's stock 5. So it's way underscoped for its capabilities.
Time for a nice, relaxing drive.
Underscoped is what I call it when the barrel provides really good accuracy, but the scope doesn't have much zoom. And of course, the opposite of that would be overscoped. That's where you have like barrel 2 combined with sight 5.
Let's get you rolling.
An inaccurate barrel combined with a scope that provides a lot of zoom.
During this transitional period, please do not interact with the creatures in any way. Any resemblance to formerly living family members is purely coincidental.
Still interested in an intense cobra with good parts, at least mid-tier parts, and an 18-round mag.
Dr. Ned gave me the following awards this year. Most effective plant trap in life-threatening situations.
BL1 guns shoot more lightning than the next leading competitor.
Orator and best kisser.
Remember, Marcus means quality at a great price.
Oatmeal Stout is one of my all-time faves. One of my most very favoritist styles of beer.
And insta-health for when the shield inevitably goes down and you really need it.
But sometimes I like a brew on the opposite end of the spectrum. typically I prefer
Dr.
multi,
Ned gave me the following awards this year. Most effective flat trap and light
the darker end of the spectrum, the multi end of the spectrum, but sometimes I like something like, say, Golden Pheasant or Okosin. Golden Pheasant is a Slovak Pilsner, which in my opinion can contend with most of the best German lagers. And I would totally pair it with a white meat entree. Chicken or fish, most especially fish.
Do these teeth make my gums look bad?
Vladov, you don't need to be a better shot. You just need to shoot more bullets.
That has barrel 3 on it. So you know, I must ask, is it twisted? I want a twisted.
Get your meds here.
But I have no way of testing it because it's level 31. By the way, I think I will save Canyon Crush Saga for next episode.
Do you need something? I'm going to need a nuclear reaction.
How about that brain in a jar you have on your desk? That would make a good conversation starter. Shops will change over soon enough. Then I think I might do one more shopping spree and then call it. That brain in a jar that she has there on her desk is like a Metroid-sized mother brain, or a mother brain larva.
Jacob scans do one thing really well. Power. And honestly, what else do you need? Let's get you rolling. Hey, let's get you rolling, man.
Going too slow.
Shops will change over about the time I get down there. Called it.
Wanna shoot a lot of bullets really fast? Vladov has your needs covered.
Phenomenal accuracy, and it has barrel 1. I love Hyperion shotguns. I would still want a different barrel, even barrel 2, just because I hate the clunky sights of barrel 1. But if it had one of those phony reflex sights, that would compensate for it. So I would use a Hyperion shotgun with a spike on it, even if it has barrel 1. It wouldn't be my top preference, but I could make it work. This would be excellent as a masher or a karate.
Who needs a real doctor when you got my machines and their scary needles?
The Hunter class mod is made by Jacobs and Vladoff. Jake and Vlad. I'll work my way up the list, ending with Underdoom. And then I'll call it. Oh.
If he took more than one shot, you weren't using a Jacobs.
Ah. I knew if I shopped around, I'd eventually get something serviceable. And this is much better than the other two I have, which I don't need now. It's no pestilent defiler, but against Crom's turret, it should do just fine. Well, see, now I'm tempted to go ahead and go do Crom's Canyon. Let me finish this shopping spree, and then we'll see. Does that have a twisted barrel? I feel compelled to find out. Hostile. Insert Pantera reference. Nope.
Let's trick out your ride.
Let's get our feet out of the dust.
The damage was a bit more than usual. So I thought there might be a chance. And a vengeance.
Doesn't make their guns out of freaking wood.
That was my first legendary on my Vladoff Allegiance run. I can go ahead and sell these. They were basically just placeholders for something more like this anyway. As good as some of these are, I don't need all of these. I'll sell the double stinger because of the skimpy mag. I like the more accurate one, the double SMG. I don't really need this double anarchy. I like the double SMG better for the better accuracy.
Look at you roll.
If it had a faster fire rate, that would be a different story. They'd be more evenly matched.
There's been some talk that certain employees have been embracing weapons not manufactured by the Jacobs Corporation for their elemental modification. We remind ourselves of the company motto: if it ain't a Jacob, I'd rather be dead. Please lead by example.
Sure is lonely around here.
If you're on a budget, Tediore is always the way to go.
Well, there's an intense rifle, but it's built entirely from Type 1 parts. The only good thing about it is it has an 18-round mag. And I've already got one like that that has barrel 4. Holding out for an intense Cobra. If I can get my mitts on a well-parted intense Cobra with an 18-round mag, I'll go ahead and sell my Stomper and my intense rifle.
Shields and healing, that's what I'm feeling.
Come on, let's get down. Come on, everybody. Check me out. I'm dancing. I'm dancing.
Need a nuclear reaction to generate the 1.21. Oh, hey, hello! Welcome to my secret lab.
Just channel a lightning bolt down into your flux capacitor. I bet she could build a piezoelectric transducer out of ordinary hardware store items available in this junkyard.
Power combines good damage, high fire rate, and
Ah,
reduction in
that's even better than the one I've got. Well, of course, it's BL1, but look at the parts. Barrel 4, probably a body 2, I'm guessing. I don't know. A good enough body. If the fire rate is 1.3, that's good enough.
and their scary needles.
One more stop.
Over here! I need your help with
I won't be the least bit surprised if I come across another equalizer. Level 22 or 31.
Iron Atlas, and you too can see what it feels like to hold the power of the gods in your hands. You won't find finer gear anywhere on the planet. If you need healing, step right up.
Nah, nothing interesting. But I've got what I need. It's mostly ordinary, but it has a good barrel. Barrel 3, same as my masher. And it has the same body, the most basic body 1, hence the 1.0 fire rate. Serviceable, but not exceptional. Different cylinder. This has the chintzy Type 1 cylinder, which is why its base damage is 93, despite being level 22, with only ×1 elemental. But that doesn't matter so much. All I really need is accuracy of at least 90 something, which, well, we've got that covered right there. And Karate Go Nuts Delta Oster Tango. Never mind that it's green label. That should be serviceable enough. Now, which of these should I sell? 58 round mag. This double SMG has been my fave. I like it even better than the double Anarchy. I know I keep mentioning that, but this does have barrel 1, whereas this has barrel 5. This has a good body on it. This has body 1, but it can get away with that because all of its other parts are good. These both look like they're built from material 3, which gives them an extra edge. I just can't decide. I don't need them all, but they're all so good.
Thor combines good damage, high fire rate, and recoil reduction into one lethal weapon.
If this was green or better, I would consider buying it. Because combine that with the Savior, you've got ammo regen, you've got Karate, you can melt Crimson Lance really effectively with that, and that would come in handy in, let's say, the Crimson Fastness, for example. Looking good. Till next time, catch you on the flip side, and see you next mission, slabs.